Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of the Culturally Controversial Podcast. Man, I'm your host, Simply Nicholas87, and my co host, Ty H.
Hey, good evening, folks. Good to be back with you again.
Hey, man, for all the new people out there that hadn't hit the subscribe button, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, so it gets our stuff out into the stratosphere, as I should say. But yeah, we got a good one tonight. We're gonna recap two games and get ready for one. And I'm just gonna cut right into it. Let's start from the home opener against Montgomery Central.
Yeah, man, that was a really tough one. It was a game where I felt like on the field, I didn't feel like Montgomery Central had any more talent than we had, and I feel like it was more of a self-destruction type thing. It was a game where we first quarter held onto the ball, marched downfield, methodically scored a touchdown. Second drive, I long, had him on a long down distance situation. And again, the deep pass, something that haunts us, ended up giving up a deep pass for a touchdown that cut the game 8-7. And on the ensuing kickoff, it was kind of an angled kick. The up man fielded it, ran laterally with it, and upon contact, lost the football. That gave him the football in great field position. We surrendered another touchdown. We're down 14-8. That's the first fumble you're going to hear me mention. Uh,
Mhm.
After that, we still bounced back, took a 16-14 lead in the half, but in the third quarter, that's when things just sort of fell apart. We didn't score at all in the second half and ended up losing the game 13-16. So some things that concern me, of course, I'm looking at the box score here. I see Montgomery Central attempted six passes, completed five of them for 143 yards. That's 143 yards only on five completions. That lets you know that we were getting beat deep. That's averaging 28.6 yards to completion. That shows
Mhm.
that we were susceptible to the big play on back end of the defense. That's something that has to be fixed. They also ran the ball effectively as a team. They ran for, and I'm talking about Montgomery Central.
Mhm.
They had 38 rushing attempts for 262 yards and four rushing touchdowns. So that's 6.9 yards carry. So we're giving up 6.9 yards to carry on defense. Give up surrender four touchdowns on defense. That's definitely not what we want. If you look at what we gave up in the passing game, I see where that touchdown I was talking about in the first quarter. We gave up an 80-yard touchdown pass there. That
Mhm.
that's kind of been the story of what we've been doing. And then on the defensive side, the fumbles really worried me. I see we actually had six fumbles, but four of them lost. So that's through the first two games. Four fumbles lost. That's eight fumbles lost to the first two games. That can't happen. As far as the bright side, we ran the ball effectively. I thought we had 48 carries, 224 yards. That's 4.7 yards a carry. You'll take that any day of the week. Two rushing touchdowns. Notably, Tashawn Harris, he had an excellent game. He rushed for 19 yards. I mean, 19 carries for 92 yards and a
Mhm.
touchdown. It's 4.8 a carry. Had a very strong showing. And one thing about Tashawn Harris, he gets those tough yards. He moves the chains. It may not be on something you're gonna see in a highlight reel, but that's a bright spot. Also, Kadarius Bivens, he had 15 carries for 55 yards. He didn't get loose like he did the first game, but he was getting a lot of those tough grinded out yards too. So running the ball, we're able to run the ball. It's just that with our offense, we don't have that much passing in our repertoire. We only attempted three pass attempts. So we
Mhm.
rushed for 224 yards as a team, which isn't bad at all. But when you put
Right.
those turnovers in there, no passing attack, you end up with a 38-16 loss. So I
Yeah.
thought that was a bad loss in the game we had no business losing. I thought that was a winnable game, and I felt like it was more of what we did to ourselves versus what Montgomery
They
Central did to us.
right. And piggyback off that, the turnovers, like you said, 224 yards rushing and multiple turnovers. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, well, we ran well, but we gave up 262 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part that really bothered me. The big plays that we gave up. was tough as well. That puts you in a bind when you're struggling defensively and you're turning the ball over. That's a mixture for disaster.
Right.
So I don't know what to really say about that. I put it like this: it's something that has to get fixed, and it's something that has to get fixed quickly. And if it doesn't get fixed, you're going to see more of the same. I mean, that's just my honest assessment of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Um.
38-16 loss. I mean, and then the second half to get completely blank. It seemed like in this particular game, the second half, once the game got away from us, there was just no coming back. And I did not think that Montgomery Central team was extra impressive or anything special. No disrespect to them because they came in and took care of business. They got
Mhm.
themselves a victory, so I'm not going to take that away from them. But at the same time, I didn't see a team that was superior to us on the field as far as talent wise. I felt like
Mhm.
it was more about us not doing what we were supposed to, and the missed opportunities that we had, and the extra opportunities that we gave them. And I
Mhm.
think that's the reason for that 38-16 loss.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the second half was just it was just like it was stagnant. First half, it was back and forth. We went into the half, 16-14 or
Yeah,
16-13
we were up 16-14 at half. Yes.
half, yeah. And then like second half, it just like everything just stopped.
That avalanche, and it was mainly because of turnovers. When you're struggling on defense, you can't put a team on a short field.
Right.
Defense is showing no resistance whatsoever, and then when we're turning the ball over, and then sometimes I wonder because if I look here, we got a lot of guys playing both ways, and I'm wondering is fatigue an issue? I'm not saying it is. It just makes me wonder because when I'm looking at the box score here, I'm seeing offensive numbers, I'm seeing defensive numbers, I'm seeing a lot of the same guys playing offense and defense, and it makes me wonder is that catching up with us? Because I saw about 38 guys dressed that night, uh, but I saw a number of them of the same guys coming right off the field and then going right on the field again for defensive possession. I'm
Mhm.
wondering is a lack of depth causing issues because when I look at some of the names, I'm seeing like I see like guys who play both ways. I see Stinson plays both ways. I see Harris plays both ways. I see Bivens play both ways. I see Mungo play both ways. And a lot of these guys' names, these are terrific players. James Steele, I see he
Yeah.
plays both ways. A lot of these guys I'm naming, these are excellent players
Mhm.
and phenomenal athletes. But at the same time, is they're playing so many snaps a game and I'm not knocking anybody for it. I'm just wondering is that having an impact because they're not getting any break from the field, or is it something more fundamental? I'm not sure.
Um, could be. Especially if you're playing both ways for 48 minutes. It tends to wear fatigue on you. And
Right.
I'm not saying those guys are out of shape. It's just you can't get tired. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, the bigger issue I'm dealing with is more of a do we have depth issues? The reason I say that because typically if you're playing that many guys both ways, you're feeling like you don't have a choice but to play the guys both ways because you feel like you don't have the depth to for another option. So if that's the case, I mean, I'm not sure what we're going to do. I know there's 76 total players between varsity and JV together. I don't know if you pull some guys up from JV, but even if you do, we don't even know if those guys, if you pull some guys from JV, would they be ready to take varsity snaps? That's the part that you don't know. So I don't know if the lack of depth is what's causing this. If that's the case, I'm really not sure how we rectify the situation.
Yeah. That's a good question. Um, that's the unknown mystery. But I mean, hopefully there can be a way to fix that. Um.
Yeah, the secondary really worries me. I mean,
Mhm.
that worries me tremendously. And when I get into the most recent game, I get into that a little more. But it seems like the anybody with any kind of marginal ability to throw the ball can pick us apart.
Yeah.
It's almost like we can't stop a forward pass attempt.
Mhm.
And the thing about it, if the pass rush doesn't get there, you could just count it as a completion, and not only a completion, but it's more than likely going to be a big play. And that's really scary when everybody's holding their breath every time the opposing QB drops back to throw the ball. And I'm not sure how that changes. I mean, it's a really scary situation because it doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 25 or anything like that. Which it seems like we're still susceptible to give up the conversion if even in long down and distance situations.
Hmm.
And it just seemed like there's no resistance at all. And quite frankly, it's been a long time, if ever, that I've seen us with a secondary that's susceptible to giving up the big play. And this is not me knocking it, but I'm just stating what's transpired. We have given up a lot of big plays. Like I said, in this particular game, in Montgomery Central's first possession after we scored, they completed an 80-yard touchdown pass, and it was on a long down and distance situation. Also, gave
Hmm.
up a 31-yard pass somewhere as well. So that's that's like I said, it's concerning as far as per completion, 35 yards per completion that we gave up. So on average,
Hmm.
so that's and when I said 28.6, that's yards per. Well, with the QB, that's yards per attempt. So that's factoring in the incompletion they threw. But as far as completed passes, they average to be 35 yards per completion. That's too much,
Yeah.
especially on the ground where you're getting up 6.9 yards carry on the ground. That's not gonna win you anything.
No. It's
Then top it off with 4 fumbles lost. That makes it even worse. So I'm like I said, this game here was more of Anson defeated Anson.
hmm
And I don't really have much more to add to it. You were there. You're sitting right beside me. You saw what took place, and you saw a second half self destruction. You saw a second half implosion,
Yeah.
and you saw us crumble and fall apart in the second half of that game. A game that I thought that we were more than capable of winning, and at halftime, definitely looked like we were more than capable of winning.
I agree. Let's get into the South Stanley game.
Oh man, that game! I was lost for words at the result of that game. And for the record, before I get in anything, I want to give my hats off to Coach Terry Schenkel,
Hmm.
former offense coordinator for Anson County. He's the current head coach for the South Stanley Rebel Bulls.
Hmm.
Um, the turnaround that he's making with that program is remarkable. Obviously, they're 2-1. Probably should be 3-0. They lost a heartbreaker the week before they played us, a game that they had a commanding lead and lost at the end. But we
Hmm.
know traditionally South Stanley has always been a pushover, except in the era that Terry Schenkel played. Of course, during the time that he played, they were good during that time. But aside from the era that he played, South Stanley, even when they were the South Stanley Rebels, they were always looked at as an inferior program. And basically, that used to be a tune-up game. I remember when even Anson's worst teams. I remember in 2014, we
Hmm.
went 1-10. Our one win was a 35-8 win over South Stanley. I remember in 2015, we also went 1-10. Our
Hmm.
one win was a 48-0 win over South Stanley. So even our worst teams used to blow them out. But even when we were struggling going into a situation without a win, one thing about it is a trip to Norwood was just what the doctor ordered. But
Hmm.
Friday night, that was not the case at all. You could tell. No, this South Carolina team is not a championship caliber team, but they've come a long way. You could tell that Coach Schenkel has that program buying in as far as the quality of athletes and them coming together. Uh, Coach Schenkel really has that program improved. We saw flashes of it last year, and this year we're seeing even more improvement. So the former Anson offense coordinator Terry Schenkel, I got to give a hats off to him because that South Carolina team is much better. Nevertheless, I still think this is a game the Answer should have won. This
Hmm.
game was a very, very, very poor defensive performance and
Right.
a very good offensive performance, except for some untimely turnovers, and I'm gonna get into that. I know you
Okay.
weren't at the game, but did you get a chance to watch the film of the game?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well I'm gonna get into some highs and lows.
Okay.
South Stanley could not stop us from running the football. We were able to run the football whenever we wanted, however we wanted, as often as we wanted it. We ran the ball 45 times.
Mhm.
ran for 437 yards,
Mhm.
9.7 yards per carry.
Okay.
And as far as who led us, Cordarius Bivens led us in rushing. The
Mhm.
sophomore had 14 carries for 133 yards and a touchdown. That's 9.5 a pop. Tashawn Harris, Tashawn Harris is the most consistent back we have. I'm going to go ahead and say that. He's
Mhm.
Bivens is a great player, but Harris is the most consistent back we have.
Mhm.
Harris rushed for 16 carries, 162 yards, including a touchdown run. That was a 10.1 pop. Jackson Stinson chipped in with 3 carries, 32 yards for 10.7 a pop. Uh, Jaden Allen, two carries for 77 yards. Most of that was on a 72-yard run. And then, of
Mhm.
course, James Steele, the big dive back slash defensive tackle. And his father was an awesome player, too, former offensive lineman for Hanson, James Steele Sr. But James Steele, the son, the younger James Steele, had 6 carries, 30 yards in this game as well, 5 yards a carry. So, as far as running the football, we rushed for 437 yards. That takes me back to the whole old adage when we were talking with Coach before the season. Generally speaking, like I said, if you throw for 300 yards, you might win. If you run for 300 yards, you certainly win. Out of
Mhm.
3 games, that's 2 games where we rushed for over 300 yards and still came up short. And it's not because of that philosophy is wrong. It's because of turnovers and missed opportunities. So in
Right.
this, and very 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 poor defense. People forget football and poor special teams. People forget football is complementary. So there are 3 phases to the game. You have offense, defense, and special teams. And if one phase goes wrong, that could derail an entire game. So, like in this game, for example, we of the fumbles that we had, technically we had 2 fumbles, but we had 3 turnovers. Going into the half, we were up by 2 scores. We were up 22-13. Looking and receiving the ball in the second half, had opportunity to blow the game open. On the opening kickoff, either we muffed it, or we didn't field it cleanly. Anyway, that's a live ball. South Stanley ended up with that ball. It was a short type kick, angled kick, and we weren't able to secure it. South Stanley came with the ball. That's a turnover right there. South Stanley went on to score points, a touchdown, namely off of that as well, and that changed the trajectory of the whole game. Some other key moments that really crushed us. The 2 fumbles were 2 heartbreaker fumbles. One of them was a breakaway run, and I think I'm here by myself, and I'm gonna keep talking. One of them was a breakaway run for a touchdown. What should have been a touchdown, but great hustle by South Stanley. Their defender continued to rush down the field, ran the running back down, and stripped the ball as he was getting ready to cross the goal line. And that ended up being a touchback instead of a touchdown. That was a killer. A couple
Mhm.
of possessions later, we get a reception that's breaking away for what seems to be a surefire touchdown. And again, the defender, the safety, the corner, whoever it may have been, ran the receiver down and stripped the ball from him again as he was going into the end zone. I have never witnessed twice in the same game where on a breakaway touchdown, the ball carrier gets run down and the ball gets stripped and we lose the ball twice. I'm not
Mhm.
mad that he got run down. That's a great hustle on South Stanley. What I'm upset about are the 2 fumbles. The first time it happened, you chalk it up as bad luck. Before that to
Right.
happen twice in the same game, that's probably 16 points that you lost because we go for 2 and usually get it. That's at least 12 points that you lost. And on average, about 14 that you lost right there. Those were crucial situations. In spite of that, even that and even on those possessions lost, South Center scored touchdowns and stuff. After those, end up getting down 2 scores, but still rallied back to take the lead in the game. We took a 38-33 lead with only 22 seconds left, and
Mhm.
this is where the special teams faux pas comes. On the ensuing kickoff, as we're kicking the ball off, we let them return the ball up to midfield.
Mhm.
So when South Stanley takes the field, it's 12.9 seconds left, less than 13 seconds left in the ball game, and they're from midfield. We give up a 40-yard completion down to the 10-yard line. South Stanley calls a timeout with 4 seconds left.
Mhm.
With 4 seconds left, South Stanley connects on a slant in the end zone for a touchdown as time expires for a walk-off touchdown and wins the game 39-38. That's the epitome of bad defense. And I can see how dejected things were on that sideline at the end of that game, and rightfully so. As a fan base, it was dejecting. And on the opposite side, I can see the jubilation on Coach Shanko and his team's faces.
Mhm.
Uh, at the end of the day, South Stanley won the football game. They took the game at the end. I'm talking about South Carolina did, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that they were down and they went out and snatched the victory. And I feel
Mhm.
like that we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. You know how people say you can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? We snatched
Mhm.
defeat from the jaws of victory. I mean, we did everything that we could to give this game away. We
Yeah.
had multiple opportunities to go up two scores, two touchdowns lost on breakaways because we fumbled the ball. The muff on special teams, the numerous big plays that we gave up. This was just this game here was more heartbreaking and more disappointing than the previous one because we just completely had lapses in this game, and like lapses that happened multiple times that you wouldn't even want to happen one time in the game, and I just can't understand it. I know there's a
Mhm.
lot of youth out there. I know there are a lot of guys playing both ways. I understand that, but some of the things that happen just shouldn't have happened under any circumstance. And that puts us in a bind. We're 0-3, and I can make the argument that we should be 3-0. We lost to Red Springs in a
Yeah.
very similar fashion. We
Mhm.
had a meltdown against Montgomery Central, and then again we lost in the closing seconds in this game against South Stanley as well. And I can argue that for three consecutive games, Anson defeated Anson, and that leads us to a situation where I say Friday night, obviously tomorrow night against Hunter Huss and Gastonia is going to be a must win.
Yeah. The seasonal clock is ticking, and the time is now. You know, I I I,
Yeah,
I I just think that I think that loss and week one's loss came down to the same situation,
yeah,
and I think in those situations, at with 20 something seconds left,
22.
there's
Yeah.
yeah 22 seconds, there should be no way they should get that far down the field. Or
Well,
matter of fact, they
poor
yeah
special
special
teams contributed to some of it. Poor kick coverage. Same thing happened against Red Springs when we went ahead on the go ahead touchdown. We gave off a big kick return that put them in better field position to go for a go ahead touchdown. It's like when we make the big play to go up. It's almost like we forget to cover on kick coverage. So that's twice that didn't happen. But go ahead.
but yeah I just think this is a must win come Friday that we're gonna get into now. As going against the Hunter Husk. I don't want to get the
Huskies,
name Huskies.
Huskies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I want to make sure it was Huskies. I didn't know if it was Huskies or not. But
yeah. Anson, and this is an unfamiliar opponent. Like I said, Anson's never played Hunter Hudson football. Now they basketball back in the days when my mom and them were coming along. Anson used to, and when your dad and stuff was in school, Anson played
mhm.
Hunter Hudson basketball a lot. Back when Anson was a basketball power, that used to be kind of a rivalry. That's where former Golden State Warrior legendary point guard Eric Sleepy Floyd played his basketball. So, uh, and Huss used to have solid football teams. This year they're 2-1. They defeated North Mecklenburg last week, 11-7. The week before, they beat Bessemer City, 55-6. Their only
Mhm.
loss was season opener to TC Robertson out of Asheville. We know Robertson
Yeah.
traditionally have good teams, so Hunter Hudson's off to a good start. As far as what they do philosophically, I don't know. I'm about to pull up some info on them right now and see if I can find anything that's meaningful. I think they're more run oriented,
Mhm.
but I'm sure they're gonna probably want to test our secondary. I can see them wanting to test our secondary given the big plays and stuff that we've given up. But I definitely think they want to run the football. I think that just looking at their numbers, I'm looking at their rushing yard, 480 rushing yards to 338 receiving yards. Look like they have a little bit uh, of balance, but I don't know if this is for all their games or not because sometimes they don't all get reported. But let me see what
Right.
they did. Let me see what they did the last game. Give me one sec.
Okay.
Let's see. That was a low scoring game against North Mecklenburg. I just want to see what they did because the only game they scored a lot of points was against Bessemer City. I don't know if Bessemer City was just a weak opponent or what.
Mhm.
Uh, Huss didn't report any passing stats, so they must have didn't throw the ball at all. But they ran. They only last week in their victory, they only ran for 152 yards, but it was still 5.2 yards a carry. So they were efficient when they did run it. Uh,
Right.
It's a low scoring game. I really can't get a good feel for them. Let's see. what they did against Bessemer City. They scored 55 points in the game, so I'm sure that they put up some gaudy numbers in that game. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Bessemer City used to be a 1A school, so I don't know if Bessemer City even has the
Moved
athletes to
up.
compete.
Mm.
I'm seeing they ran for 263 yards against Bessemer City. Not, I see they had 120 yards receiving, so it seemed like more run first, but will throw when they get opportunity to. And
Right.
and as poor as we're playing on defense, we're gonna have to be much better to beat this team. This team's won 2 games, so they're starting to find a rhythm, and we're a team that's desperate for a win. So I don't know what to predict. I don't know how things are going to turn out, but I know one thing: we're going to have to be much better defensively. We're going to have to protect the football. That game Friday night didn't start falling apart until we stopped protecting the football. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree that that game. Um, I'm about like you. I think we should be 3-0 instead of 0-3 right now. But like you said, those mishaps they get you every time. Um,
Yeah, the one thing I will say is we remember 2 years ago, and I know it's a different group of guys. We got off to an 0-3 start as well.
mhm.
We end up winning 4 in a row. We end up winning the next four after an 0-3 start. I remember we lost the first three, then we ended up squeaking a win over Albemarle, and then that kind of got the confidence up. That's why I wanted that win Friday. I feel like if these guys could see a W in the column, it'll change the mentality. It'll build a confidence, and I think they can maybe put something together. If we could just like we did 2 years ago, got off to the 0-3 start, got our first win, and turned it into a 4 game winning streak. Ended up winning 5 of the next 7.
Mhm.
Maybe the same type of thing could happen here if we can put a W on the board tomorrow. Maybe that can build confidence and kind of get something started. That's what I'm hoping. Like I
Right.
say, first thing you got to get Kadarius Bivens going. You got to get I'm about to say Terry Harris, not Terry, it's his son.
Mhm.
Uh, Tashawn Harris. You got to get those two going in the running game, and you still got to show some threat of a passing game. I know that our offense is predicated on run heavy, but you still got to keep the defense honest sometimes, just so they won't continue to stack the box on you.
Right.
I think if we could do those things, and but most importantly, out of all of that, protect the football. If we protect the football, we'll have a chance because our offense can move the ball up and down the field and can take a lot of clock with it. We got to cut down those big plays in defense. We got to bend but don't break. Even if you give up some yards, but if you can't give up those big 60-yard passes all the time, that's got to stop. I know I'm asking for a lot, but if we can just do the basic fundamental things, hold on to the football and just keep the defense in front of you, I think we can squeak out a win. But you can't continue to beat yourself.
That's true. We can't continue to do that. That could lead to a something you don't want to see. Uh, going down into conference play, and like I said, it really don't even matter about conference play at this point now, because the way they've structured the way to get into the playoffs.
Right, and the schedule is only getting tougher as the weeks go by because like I said, we're coming up against Husk. That's the team with the winning record right now. Pender,
Mhm.
that's another good football team. Look, I looked them up. They have a solid program.
Okay.
After that, West Stanley, and I know West Stanley struggled the first 2 games, but West Stanley seemed to have caught a rhythm last week. They picked up the first victory. They beat Albemarle 43-7. So
Yeah.
Coach Jackson got those boys. Seem like they're starting to come around. And remember, one thing about Coach Jackson, his boys gonna play hard for him. We know that. So if you
Yeah.
don't match that, you can still be beaten.
Yep.
After that, you got Mount Pleasant, always a gritty football team, always gonna be tough to beat. Then after
Mhm.
that, you got Monroe. I know they're not what they were last year, but they're still a good football team. No one's gonna shame them for losing to West Charlotte and Weddington. That's gonna be a
Yep.
tough out. After that, you got Forest Hills. That's another tough opponent. Coach Jamie Deese got them looking good again. And then at the end, you got Parkwood, which I know you don't look at and say that's a juggernaut, but the way we're playing right now, we can't take anybody lightly. So, and of course, I know Coach Allen's watching. He's gonna say, "Guys, 1 week at a time," and I completely agree with him. 1 week at a
Mhm.
time, and I know Coach Allen, if he was sitting here right now, he's gonna say, "Guys, the focus is on Hunter Huss, not those other games." Only
Right.
reason I mentioned that is we have to form good habits because if we continue with bad habits, those bad habits are going to carry into those games. Whereas if we can formulate good habits and get a victory, we can build on those good habits and carry those good habits into the ensuing weeks. That's why I mentioned that.
Agreed. Um. Yeah. We just got. I mean, tomorrow is a win now. We gotta win. We
Yeah.
gotta win.
Does anybody know what the JV is doing? I could actually see if I can pull it up.
Okay.
Let's see.
I,
J. I got Max. I got my laptop up, so let's see.
all right.
Anson JV, which JV coming into tonight is 2-1.
Mhm.
I don't have an updated score for the JV. I just know it's in. The game started at 6:30. It should be over. Anybody watching? Terry Harris, Pastor Crump, Sam Williams, somebody. If you're watching or if you are down there at the JV game, shoot the score into the chat. We just want to know because we cover the varsity, but the JV, those are the players of the future, and if their development is important because they're the guys the next year and the year after are going to be out there Friday night. So they're develop
Charles Harley says it was 6-8 when he left in the second quarter. Anson.
who Anson was okay. So it looked like it was a tough, gritty ball game. If anybody can get us a final to that, because I'm sure that game because 10-minute quarters and it's been 2 hours, I'm sure that game's going to final by now. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that the JV could pull out a victory. If they can get to 3-1, that'd be big because that's showing that the future is bright. If they can win
Mhm.
that, which I'm confident in, and that's a young group. And I'm still wondering, do we need to pull some of those guys from the JV up to the varsity, even if they might not be exactly ready at this time? At least we're not our best players like Tashawn Harris, Kadarius Bivens, Jackson Stenson, guys like Titus Mungo. Those are marquee players, and we want them fresh and throughout the entire year to give. We don't want to run them into the ground either. So I'm hoping that maybe some other young guys can develop and step up and kind of bring relief to those guys. Those guys are really having to carry a lot of load right now, and not just them, but those just guys that I'm thinking of at the moment. I know there are others too who are carrying a lot of weight as well. So if I didn't call your name, don't think that I'm ignoring you. It's just that I'm remembering names of guys that talk to us on the show, and it's easy to remember those names right off the rip. But
Right.
it's we got our work cut out for us. And I know one thing about Coach Allen. He's not going to make any excuses. He's not going to run away from the challenge.
Mhm.
He's not going to try to sugarcoat it. He's
Nope.
going to take it for what it is, and he's going to make the best of it. I saw something on his Facebook the other day that I really like because he's a man of faith. And I remember Saturday I saw this flash across his Facebook. He said, "All I can do is trust in Jesus." And I said, a man with that kind of faith is not going to count himself out when things are down. A man with that kind of faith is not going to let his circumstance take him out. A man of that kind of faith is not going to play victim. He's going to roll his sleeves up. He's going to coach his tail off, and
Mhm.
he's going to do everything in his power to give his kids the best chance to win. And they're going to come out and they're going to compete, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. I got faith in them, man. I just if they could just, like I said, if you could just get rid of those 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 turnovers, we got a fighting chance. We have
Yeah,
a fighting chance.
and at the end of the day, there's only so much you can expect the coaching staff to do. At the end of the day, the people on the field have to step up and say, "Hey, no more of this."
Right.
Because Coach Allen can show them the water. Coach Howard
Mhm.
can show them the water. Coach Hyatt can show them the water. Coach Harris can show them the water, but only they can choose whether they're going to drink it or not.
That's true.
I'm about to say he could tell them what to do. He could show them what to do, but I'll put it like this: Coach Allen's not out there fumbling the ball.
No.
Coach Blackwell's not getting beat for 30-yard bombs.
Right.
Coach Hyatt's not the one that's giving up big kickoff returns. They can
Mhm.
tell them what to do, but at the end of the day, the playmakers have to make plays.
That's true.
And those young men have to look from within and say, hey, is this going to be our story? Is this
Right.
how the story going to go? Or are we going to change the narrative? And there's one way to change the narrative. And all of this can be changed starting tomorrow night. There's still a lot of football left to be played. And this season can be salvaged.
Mhm.
But it starts tomorrow night. Now, technically, that's not right. It actually started this week. The preparation,
Yeah.
the attention to detail, the focus,
Mhm.
being locked in, being bought in, listening to what your coaches are telling you,
Right.
applying the lessons you learned from the mistakes of the previous 3 weeks,
Mhm.
and going forward and saying, this will be no more. Young men, if you're listening, the choice is yours. You in life has just punched you in the mouth right now. Right now, you're down for the count. A lot of people have given up on you. A lot of people are saying that you're finished, that you're done. A lot of people are saying that you won't even win a game this year. That's the talk of the town. And that's either true or it's false. But who determines if it's true or false? You. Look
Mm-hmm.
at those 30 something young men in the mirror. You're going to have to look in the mirror and say, hey, we're not going to allow this to continue to happen. We're not going to let this be how our story goes. We're not going to let this
Mm-hmm.
continue to be our narrative. And we're going to change the trajectory of our story. And it starts tomorrow night.
Yes, it does. At Gastonia, kick off at 7:30.
Let me double check that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, kickoff at 7:30 at Hunter Huss High School in Gastonia, North Carolina, right off of Highway 321 in the southern part of Gastonia.
So the choice is yours, man.
Yes, it is. It's up to you.
And I know with that group of young men, I know they don't want to lay down, especially
This is a test of your character.
yeah. I believe in you.
I believe in them too, but see, it doesn't matter what we believe in it.
They gotta believe.
Bingo. Say it one more time.
They gotta believe.
Say it a third time for the Holy Spirit.
They gotta believe.
Yes, sir.
They gotta believe.
Even when it's nobody else, I remember Coach Jackson used to always say, it's us against the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say, even when you've been counted out, even when nobody else believes,
Yep.
you still have that faith in yourself. Number one, the man upstairs gave you the ability.
Yep.
Now it's time for you to apply the ability that he gave you.
Absolutely.
You're this is a microcosm of life. Life is going to put you in situations where you're down, where you feel hopeless, and where you feel like you're moving backwards, where you feel like every time you take a step forward, you take two backwards. And
Mm-hmm.
in life, when this happens to you, when you become adults, nobody's going to feel sorry for you. And this season, nobody's going to feel sorry for you either. So it's you either roll your sleeves up, lick your wounds, and get better. That's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You have the talent, you have the ability, you have the skill. It's just a matter of doing it.
Yep.
If you want to go out there and win, just go out there and do it.
That's all you gotta do. That is all you have to do.
And I look forward to seeing how you guys respond. 'Cause I know some of you are listening right now.
Yeah. And I know they can. I know they can. But you got to want it. You gotta
If you
want it.
want it, go and get it.
Yep. But yeah, we praying for the debut tomorrow night. I got faith in them, but as long as they believe, they got a fighting chance.
One thing about it, sometimes they're going to unfamiliar territory.
Mhm.
I'm going to be there, but I got a feeling it's not going to be an overwhelming crowd.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's an opportunity where they really do feel like it's them against the world. And who knows, man? They might just surprise everybody and
Yeah,
come away with the victory.
that's true.
At least that's what I'm looking for.
And that's what I want. I hope that's what they want too.
And we're going to see.
We're gonna definitely see. All right. Well, we ended that. Let's get into our top 25 that we
All right, let
do.
me get let me get that for you. Give me
All
one
right.
second.
All right.
Nick, we're going to trade places today since I got this info.
I got you. That's fine. Handle
All
your
right.
business.
All right, we're starting with Max Prep's top 25 in North Carolina. Coming in at
Okay.
number 25, the Kings Mountain Mountaineers. They're 3-0. Let's see
Kings
who they.
Mountain.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying Kings Mountain is a good team. They prove that year in year out. They're always in the hunt for a state title. Um, I don't know what classification they moved to. I don't know if it's 6A or 5A. Might be 6A.
Let me see. They're at least their conference wise. Let's see. I'll pull up the schedule first. Anyway, they're in the Big South 5A, 6A, so they're either 5A or 6A.
Okay.
But tomorrow they got a big matchup against the Charlotte Catholic Cougars.
Good team as good team. That's if I'm not mistaken, probably someone on that list. But they're gonna have a handful tomorrow. But I'm going to take. Give me the Mountaineers.
Ooh, I'm taking Catholic.
All right.
All right, number 24, the Myers Park Mustangs.
Myers Park has shocked me. Didn't think they had that. Didn't think because the conference they're in a real good conference.
Yes, they are.
Um, the surprise that they're what they're 2-1, 3-0,
They're 3-0, man.
3-0, and they're gonna have a heck of a conference run. They got some opponents. I put it that way.
Yes, they do. Let's see. And starting tomorrow, a non-conference big game against the Mallet Creek Mavericks.
Whew, Myers Park, I like you, but give me those Mavericks. They went down to Grayson last week and they didn't come up with the victory, but
They got
I mean,
killed.
they got destroyed. But Mallet Creek is who Mallet Creek is.
I'm going with Myers Park, man. I'm like that Myers Park team beat Weddington by 2 scores. That lets you know they're legit, man. I think Myers Park wins in a mild upset, very mild upset.
Okay.
Number 23, our good friends from over in Fayetteville, North Carolina, the 71st Falcons, where our good friend Coach Anthony Harris is one of the key members of the staff. Uh,
They had a. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
you first, my bad, brother.
No. 2-1. They had a surprising loss early in the season to Terry Sanford, but I think they've turned it around, and the message is clear.
Yeah, they take on Hope County tomorrow night. I think they're going to take Hope County to the woodshed.
Uh, uh, 71st by a truckload.
Yeah, I don't even think there's any more we need to say about that one.
Yeah.
Number 22, a familiar name to the top 25, the Butler Bulldogs out of Matthews, North Carolina.
Butler's Butler. Butler's always going to be in contention for a little run in the playoffs. What is their record?
Butler is 2-1.
2-1. They had a I forgot who they lost to, if I'm not
I'll
mistaken.
tell you in a second. They
Okay,
lost to Irmo, South Carolina. That's a powerhouse.
that's powerhouse, 5A powerhouse in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are who they are. Butler is good.
Yeah, and they take on Providence Day tomorrow. That's a big game.
That's a big game.
I'm
Um,
picking Providence Day, but go ahead.
whew, man, give me Butler for the upset.
Okay, that'd be a mild upset, but yeah.
Yeah, give me Butler for the upset.
Number 21, Jordan. That's out of Durham, out of the Bull City. Let's
Okay, I
see.
don't know too much about Jordan, but
I know traditionally that they've had good teams. I don't know just a whole lot about them, but I know that they're always deep in the playoffs and stuff. They're 3-0 this year. Uh,
okay,
Tomorrow they take on Riverside out of Durham. Riverside in the past have had good teams, but this year Riverside's struggling. They're 0-3, so it looked like if, more than likely Jordan's going to keep rolling.
give me Jordan.
I agree. Number 20, Charlotte Christian.
Oh,
These they do it for Jesus, so you gotta love
they,
them.
they do it for Jesus, man. They came off a tough loss last week. I think it was Independence.
Yep, lost 35-34 to Independence, and
Yeah,
the week before they lost a tough one to Catholic as well. So they're battle tested.
yeah,
Um, like I said, they're 1-2, but don't let that record fool you. They've played against some very stiff competition teams
competition.
that are expected to win championships in their respective divisions or classifications. Uh, they got a bye week this week, so they'll probably be watching the Myers Park game because come after their bye they'll take on Myers Park. So Christian
Okay,
got a bye this week, and they get a week off to kind of refresh and get ready to get into their stretch run.
all right.
Number 19, the Crest Chargers.
Hey, my uh my dark horse in I think that they're 6A or 7A. I think they're
They're
6A.
5 or 6. I mean, probably maybe 6. Let's see the conference they're in. I'm about to pull it up.
All right, before I finish my
Crest
statement.
is they're 3-0 by the way while I'm looking that up. But
Mm-hmm.
oh, they got a tough game tomorrow too against Weddington.
Okay.
They're in the Big South 5A 6A, so they might be they're either 5 or 6.
They're my dark horse to be in the running for to make the state championship game.
Uh, Anytime you're talking about Chris, It's just hard for me to use Chris and Dark Horse in the same sentence, man. Because I'm about to say I know what you mean. It's just that Chris
You-
is has always been a powerhouse. So I mean,
mhm.
anytime Chris is in the running for a state championship, it doesn't surprise me. Chris versus Weddington tomorrow. Whoo!
Give
You
me
know
Chris.
what? I'm going Chris too.
Give me Chris.
I'm with you, Nick. I'm with you.
Give me Chris.
One number 18, the Watauga County Pioneers.
Hmm.
Always a good football team out there in Boone, North Carolina.
Okay.
Out there in App State territory. I'm about to pull up their info as we speak. Let you know where they how they're looking this year. Watauga's 3-0. Not surprised at all. They last week they blew Mount Airy out. Mount Airy's always been a powerhouse in like the 1A classification. I know Watauga's always been pretty much back in the 1 through 4 days, been a 4A, so they probably
Yeah.
had a lot more depth than Mount Airy, but still Mount Airy is always competitive. To beat Mount Airy 61-7, that shows they're still for real because no matter what your classification is, Mount Airy is always a good and competitive football team. Like I said, the Pioneers are 3-0. Let's see who they got next week. Next week they take on Irwin out of Asheville. I know Irwin's always competitive, but I think Watauga's going to be a little too much for him.
Yeah. I'm gonna take what talk about three.
Okay. Number 17, another familiar face to the top 25, the Charlotte Catholic Cougars.
Catholic is one of those teams that if they get hot, they're gonna be on a run in the playoffs.
Well, right now the Cougars are 2-1. And again, we already mentioned this, but they play Kings Mountain tomorrow. I know you already
Hmm.
picked Kings Mountain. I'm picking Catholic, so we'll see how it shakes out.
Right.
And number 16, the Blue Devils out of Mooresville.
Mooresville
Mooresville's
Blue Devils.
they're 2-1. Go ahead.
Mm. Uh, Mooresville has been a pretty. I've been watching a couple highlights on them on football Friday night. They look good. They look really good.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. My stuff froze on me, and I'm about to pull them back up and let's see who they
Okay.
got next week. Let's see. They're 2-1. I think the one loss was the Weddington at the beginning of the season at that Keep Pounding Classic, where
Yeah.
they kind of got their teeth kicked in after coming in with a lot of expectations. That might have been kind of what they needed as a reset, the reality check they needed, because since then they're on the winning track. Like I said, they've won their last two. They got a very tough game tomorrow. Let's see, the two victories came against, as my system loads, the two victories came against Sun Valley, which is a
Hmm.
respectable program, and Kannapolis, competitive, but nowhere near the program they used to be. The stakes are up. They play Huff tomorrow. We're gonna find out exactly what they made up tomorrow. I'm
Ooh.
picking Huff in a blowout, but we're gonna see. Those two
I,
schools are only about 6 miles apart, but I'm thinking Huff gonna blow them out of the stadium.
uh, give me, give me Huff by touchdown.
I think Huff gonna win the game by 3 or 4 touchdowns, but we'll see.
All right.
Number 15, another perennial state power from the eastern part of the state, the New Bern Bears.
New Bern, New Bern, New Bern.
3-0.
3-0. Hey, hard to beat. You're gonna have to compete in the East when you come up to them.
Yes, sir. I agree 100%. Last week they obviously they won because they're 3-0.
Yeah.
They're in the Big Carolina 6A 7A. They defeated West Craven. That's a cross county rival. They beat them 48-27. The week before they blew out Havelock or beat them convincingly 28-7, and then they beat New Hanover out of Wilmington 32-7. Those are three quality programs,
Quality
and
team.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially
Havelock.
Havelock. And
Havelock.
yeah,
Yeah.
they beat Havelock. And I think, folks, New Bern's the real deal. They got a tough opponent next week against Cleveland, who we've recently become familiar with, 3-0
Yeah.
as well. So, woo, I'm going to pick New Bern in a good one.
Yeah. Give me New Bern by 2 touchdowns.
All right. Number 14, the West Forsyth Titans. That's Chris
Hmm.
Paul's alma mater for those who don't know, but they're known for football more than they are basketball. The Titans
West
of West
Forsyth.
Forsyth, yeah, they're 2-1.
Hmm. I don't really know too much about West Forsyth. I know they are. I think if I'm not mistaken, They started the season in the poll and they've been climbing up ever since. I think they were
Well,
25.
they got one loss. They beat Davie County 42-8, which is a competitive program, but they beat them handily. Their one loss is to Grimsley. We all know that Grimsley,
No, Grimsley.
yeah,
Yeah.
might win it all. And then last week they beat Porter Ridge, competitive program, 45-14. I think West Forsyth is a good program. They're playing against Mount Tabor next week. Mount Tabor is not what they used to be. Mount Tabor's 0-3. I think West Forsyth keep on rolling.
West Forsyth by bus.
Yeah, or track the trailer.
That too.
Next up, number 13, Millbrook out of Raleigh. Give me 1 second. It's taking a little second to load, but
All
while my
right.
computer act up, I will not be defeated. I will not be defeated, and neither has Millbrook been defeated. They are three and
What?
zero.
Let me
They
highlight
beat.
the chat, man. What's going on, Sam, Charles, Calvin? What's going on, guys?
Glad to have you
Sco,
fellas here.
E double. What's going on, man?
We love every last one of you. Every last one of you.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through.
No doubt about it. And back, but as I was saying about Millbrook, 3-0. They're 8A. They defeated Garner, 34-13, Heritage
Okay.
36-0, and Wake Forest
Mhm.
48-7. Those are some quality programs they've beaten. This week they play. Excuse me, they haven't beaten Wake. Hold on, yeah, they beat Wake Forest 9-5. They got a bye coming up this week, so they get to take it easy.
All right.
Uh, Number 12, Hoggard. Hoggard is 3-0 out of Wilmington. Let's see who
What?
Hoggard plays next week.
As we know, Hogger is one of those teams that late down in the year they could be contending for a state championship.
Yes, they can. And let's see who they defeated and let's see who they got coming up. They they play tomorrow against Panther Creek. Let's see what Panther Creek looks like. Panther Creek is also 3-0, so that's a battle of undefeated. Let's see who Hoggard's beaten so far. Of course,
Richmond County.
They beat Richmond Senior, so happy to see that. They also
Yeah.
beat Jack. They beat Jack Britt, another quality program. Beat Clayton, another quality program. I think it's safe to say that Hoggard is also a very good program. Panther Creek is 3-0, so obviously they're not going to take them lightly, but I still think Hoggard wins that game. I think they win at least by a couple scores.
Uh, yeah. Give me Hogger by 4 touchdowns.
Ooh, yeah, you're really high on them. Number
Mm-hmm.
11, Cleveland. We mentioned them earlier. They got a top 25 game. I'm ashamed to say that before the season started, I wasn't familiar with Cleveland, and I want to personally apologize to any Cleveland fans. But it wasn't out of any disrespect. I just wasn't too familiar with them. But they're making me look like an idiot every week because the 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they defeated Pinecrest, a very good team coached by Coach Nick Evans, 60-19, a blowout. They beat
Mm-hmm.
Corinth Holders, who I know is a competitive program. They beat Northern Nash 52-28. And like I said, they got that big matchup against New Bern. I think earlier I said New Bern is going to win. I'm going to stick with that. But it wouldn't shock me how that game goes.
Right.
Number 10, we're getting into the top 10.
All right.
Now we're getting into the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes. We're separating the boys from the men here. We're getting to the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, East Forsyth Eagles. They play Ragsdale. I got family that played at Ragsdale, so I kind of want Ragsdale to win that game out there in High Point / Jamestown.
Mm-hmm.
You have been a powerhouse. Greats like Tony Baker played there, but Ragsdale's
Yep.
0-3. East Forsyth is 2-1. East Forsyth beat Glenn 31-0 on week one. On week two, they beat Northern Guilford 33-10. Their only loss was a 48-21 loss to Grimsley, which nobody's going to shame them for.
Nope.
I think they get back on the right side of things, man. I think they take Ragsdale down and East Forsyth get back to their winning ways.
Give me the Eagles.
Yes, sir. Number 9, the 2-1 Independence Patriots. What are your thoughts about
In
Independence?
Independence. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Independence, by far, these first 3 games have not had no easy stretch of the imagination.
They have not.
They have not. They took a bad loss to Hoof, but they have beaten some good teams in their mix. They beaten the Gaffney team that's competing for state championships, and turned
South
back
Carolina,
around
yeah.
and turn back around and beat Who did they play last week?
I
Um,
got it. They played Charlotte Christian last week.
Christian, yes, yeah, and beat Charlotte Christian. So Independence is for real.
Yes, they are. They're 2-1 next week. I mean tomorrow rather. They take on Lake Norman, and let's see,
Hmm.
Lake Norman is also 3-0, but I think Independence wins that game.
Give me Independence by 3 touchdowns.
That's a rematch of the first round of playoffs 2 years ago too. Uh,
They got some get back.
yes, they do. Number 8, Dub C, the West Charlotte Lions.
Oh, I know they're 1-2 right now,
They're one
but
and
that
two, but
I'm not knocking those 1-2 because the teams that they played good competition. They played a real good South Point team last week, helped them to 17 points if I'm not mistaken.
held them
Um,
to 10 points. They lost again
oh,
10 to
10 points.
7.
Okay, 10-7. I'm sorry, I had 17 points total. Yeah, they have them 10-7, and they played Grimsley week 1, which was a nail biter,
Yep.
and
So
uh, and
and they beat
Monroe,
Monroe 47 to
Monroe.
nothing. So they played three excellent football teams. They played three teams that are expected to be in their respective divisions, state championship.
Yeah.
And so they lost a couple of them. Like I say, overtime 1 point loss to Grimsley, overtime 3 point loss to South Point, and a dominated win over a great Monroe team. West Charlotte has nothing to be ashamed of, and they're going to keep pounding. No pun intended.
Right.
Um, they take on Providence tomorrow. I think the frustrations probably with those two losses. I think Providence is in for a long, long, long night. I think
Hey,
West Charlotte. I think it's going to be a continuous clock in the second half in that game.
give me the forward.
The Ford boys, that's what they call them.
The forward boys. Give me the forward boys
Beatty's
by a
Ford better
lot.
know it. A whole lot.
Wait. Give me the forward boys from Beatty Ford to WT.
There it is. They're gonna murk them.
Hmm.
Number 7, the Roseville Rams. Another highly ranked team, but they're 1-2. A lot of that's probably based on competition. What do you know about Roseville, Nick?
Uh, I know maybe if I'm not mistaken, a year ago, 2 years ago, they were in the state championship game for 4A when it was
Well, I'm
full
gonna.
classification.
Okay, well, they're 1-2. They
Hmm.
lost to Mallet Creek and
Hmm.
Providence Day. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Be ashamed
I got it,
about you.
and got a 38-20 win over Richmond Senior. They're not scared to
eh,
play people.
No, not by far. That, like I said, they're playing some competition. They tune them up to get ready for what they're gonna do in their conference.
Yes, sir. And they got a bye week coming up, so they get a chance to restore, refocus, refresh, and I think they'll be back and back to their winning ways.
Yep.
Number 6, the
Ooh,
Cardinal Gibbons Crusaders. I think they're the Crusaders,
another
and
one of
they're
those.
let me see what their record is. They are undefeated as I expected.
Another one of those teams to be watching out for in December.
I always say this: Cardinal Gibbons is the Charlotte Catholic of the East.
Yep.
That's kind of how I look at them. They're in the Triangle 6A, 7A conference. They're 3-0. Obviously,
Mm,
they beat Dudley week 1. That's
mm-hmm.
you know that's nothing easy.
Yep.
They they beat Maury. I guess when it came to that game, they were Maury's father, and then they beat SSEAS. I don't know who they are, and I'm not about to figure it out, but they beat them 35-3. Tomorrow they play also undefeated Southeast Raleigh, but I think
Hmm.
Cardinal Gibbons is going to keep on rolling.
Yeah, give me Cardinal Gibbons by 3.
Now we're going into the top 5. We're going into
Oh
the
yeah.
elite of the elite. We're going into the kings of kings. We're going
Oh
into
yeah.
the ruler of all rulers. Number 5, the Mallard Creek Mavericks, 2-1. What you know about them?
Hey, Mallet Creek is who they are, and they're not anything other than advertised. They lost, like I said, they went down to Georgia and played. I think they're the number 4 team in the nation, and they had nothing to be ashamed about.
Now
They are who they are.
they got smacked, but that can go one or two ways. It could
Yep.
either have them where they fire back up and get back to the winning ways, or it can leave them a little shaken. We're gonna find out because tomorrow is not gonna be easy. They go to take on Myers Park, who's also ranked in this poll. I'm gonna pick Mallet Creek in a squeaker over Myers Park.
I got Mallet Creek.
Okay, we're on the same page. All right.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
number four, a program that Answer fans were very familiar with, the 2-1 Weddington Warriors.
There's really nothing to say. Nothing to say.
I don't like them, but they're good. I can say that
They're
much.
good. They
Let's
are who they say they are.
Yeah, like I said, we already mentioned this game, but they play Crest tomorrow. They beat Monroe 49-7 last week, a very strong Monroe team, defending state championship team. They beat 49-7 last week, so we know that Weddington's is still the real deal. The only loss
Yep.
they have is to Myers Park, where I mentioned that they beat Mooresville. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm still Crest over Weddington would be a mild upset, but I still think Crest's going to get it done. I know on paper Weddington is favored and should be favored, but I just got a feeling Crest is going to win the game, and I think Crest is going to let everyone know that the Crest Chargers are back.
Yeah, give me yeah, I'm taking Chris
Yeah,
in
because we
in
both
a
took Crest
mild upset.
earlier, so I'm sticking with
Yeah,
what I said.
yeah. I'm keeping it.
The top three, and then
Oh
there were
yeah.
three.
Oh yeah.
Number three, the Huff Huskies out of
Hmm,
Cornelius, North Carolina.
hmm. Hey,
Undefeated Huff Huskies, to be exact.
see you in December.
You might not be wrong. You might not be wrong.
See you in
The
December. This.
Like I said, they're not scared to play anybody. They beat South Point out of Rock Hill 14-10. They
Hmm.
hammered an excellent Independence team 35-0. They beat Highland Springs, that's an out of state team, 17-14. They must be pretty darn good. Let me look up Highland Springs just to see what they're about.
Okay, I think they're from Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I'm about to open them up in a new tab. I just want to, because that was a close game. I just want to see what Highland Springs is about.
I
You
think
know,
they're Virginia.
Highland, let's
I
see,
think it's.
the Highland Springs Springers. Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking at their number four. They're the number four ranked team in Virginia, so
Hmm.
that's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's Let me see what they did last year, just to kind of. I know it might not be the same group of guys, just to get a gauge of their tradition at Highland Springs. I'm not that familiar with Virginia football. A few programs I know of, like George Washington and Gretna and all that, but then of course the school that was in We Are the Titans. But aside from that, I don't really know a whole lot about
Yeah.
Virginia football. And I'm getting a few technical difficulties, so I'm not going to delay anymore. But it appears that's a very, very good football team.
Hmm.
Huff plays Mooresville tomorrow. We already said that we're picking Huff to win that convincingly. I believe. Did you agree with me on that?
Yeah. I'm definitely picking her.
All right. The top two, the cream of the crop. I never forget the late great Macho Man Randy Savage. He once said, "The cream always rises to the top," and
Hmm.
there are two teams who've risen to the top because they're the cream of the crop. Number two, Providence Day, undefeated Providence Day
And rightfully so. They are
at,
not a pushover at all
at all
by the imagination at
by
all.
any stretch. And like I said, they play
Mm-mm.
Butler tomorrow, and I think they're going to beat Butler.
I'm still sticking with Butler.
Hey man, I ain't hating on it, man. You got to stick to your guns.
I'm sticking
Bad
with Butler.
analogy. You got to stick to your gut, rather. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Uh, week one they beat Roman Catholic. They got to be an out of state private school. Week
Yeah.
two they beat Roseville 38-10. And week three they beat Charlotte Catholic 32-7. At Providence Day they ain't going anywhere anytime soon. That's one those some tough. I'm about to say do the Stone Cold thing and say tough SOBs, but I'm not gonna call them that. There's some tough son of guns. There we go.
There it is.
There's some tough rascals. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. And then, of course, standing all alone, sitting at number one, undefeated, out of
Mm-hmm.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Really,
I
really,
have
really,
the
really.
great honor of naming the Grimsley Whirlies the number one
Really, really.
team in North Carolina out of all classifications per Max Preps.
Hey, they are who they are. See you in December.
And they're ranked 18th nationally.
As they should with the number. If I'm not mistaken, he's the number one quarterback in the country on their roster.
Like I said, week one they beat a great West Charlotte team. Week two they beat a very good West Forsyth team. Week three they beat a very good East Forsyth team. They have a bye this week, so they kind of get to refresh, restore, re-energize, and get
Reset.
ready to continue to dominate.
Nothing but greatness up there.
Yes, sir.
Nothing
Man,
but
that was
greatness.
it was kind of cool switching places, but at this point, man, I'm gonna hand you back your rightful seat, and we're gonna switch back to our normal roles.
All right, man. We're switching back, man, and yeah, I think that might pretty much wrap up the show. We do our final thoughts over here at the end of the show. We at the hour and 5 minute mark, so I'm gonna give you the floor, my brother, and let you have it.
Love trumps hate. God first. God over everything.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And with that, y'all, we up out of here. Appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Appreciate Calvin. Appreciate Charles Holly, Sam Williams, E Double, Sco. Um, who else did I miss? Who's else is here? I think that was it. But we appreciate everybody that's been watching. Hit that like button, share this content out, man. Again, the Answer Bearcats will be on the road in Gastonia tomorrow against the Hunter Huskies. 7:30 kickoff. And
Yes, sir. See you
with
tomorrow.
that being said, we about, and I'll catch y'all next time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.